Good morning, everyone. My name is Josh Meredith, and I own Concierge Christmas Trees. I began my business in 2013 whenever I was just a kid in middle school, and I had a wagon and Christmas trees. I went up to my family's mountain house. There's a gentleman that owns a Christmas tree farm just down the road, and my family always bought a Christmas tree from him. And he also had some wreaths, and I thought they were very beautiful wreaths. So I thought I'd ask him if I could buy some from him and resell them to my neighbors. And I bought about 20 every year. And after I sold 10 of them, that was my break-even point. So the next 10 were profit for me, and that was pretty nice as a middle schooler to make $100 or $200 during the winter. In 2016, I turned 16 years old, and I bought my first truck. And since I had my first truck, I asked the same gentleman if I could start buying Christmas trees from him, because I thought it'd be cool to start delivering Christmas trees to my neighbors and start making money off of that, including the wreaths. Today, I also offer a variety of just more than Christmas trees and garland. I also wreaths mixed in with boxwood shrubs. I offer garland, and I offer Fraser fir Christmas trees and white pine trees if anyone wants them, but that's a very selective audience, and no one's ordered a white pine from me, but I do have that option. And then I can also make a wreath in the shape of a cross in case a church is interested in that. My strategy that I try to become different is I try to provide a high quality for my customers. I try to make sure they're satisfied. I always ask them, 1 or 2 times, are you sure you're satisfied with this tree? I'll bring it back, no additional charge. I'll put it in the house. They don't like it, I'll switch it out. I had to do that once this year. I also purchased new equipment such as a tree shaker. I like to shake the trees and make sure to get all the needles out. Whenever I cut the trees, they're very fresh and they don't drop needles, but whenever a tree grows, the inside of it starts to shed. So I got to shake out those old needles that have been there for a couple of years. I watched my video from 2016 in 1 Million Cups, and I saw this chart, and I thought it'd be something nice to bring back up. My first 2 years were these are my actual numbers. I had 54, and then I got 94 trees, and I predicted 81, so I did better than what I thought in 2016. I predicted a 50% increase. And then in 2017, a gentleman named Tim Owen did the same thing I did, where he had a Christmas tree delivery service, and he went out of business, and I talked to him and made a business offer where I would buy his clients from him. And so when that happened, Tim Owen was charging about double what I was charging. And I realized the market was willing to pay more than what I was charging. I charged like $90, he'd charge $190. And I figured since someone wanted a nice big tree and they were willing to pay almost $200, I might as well keep charging that and just make some more money for myself. And because I got these new clients and they wanted bigger trees, it was also going to cost me more because bigger trees are harder to store. I custom make these pallets that hold trees, and I lay plastic on it so it holds water. And a big 10-foot tree, usually I can put in like 5 trees in there, but one big tree, it's only like 1 in that pallet because it takes up so much room because it's so wide. So in 2017, I bought less trees and I had less customers because I lost my previous customers because I was charging them less money and they didn't want to pay the extra. But I sold less trees, but I made more money than I had the previous years. And then this year, I currently purchased 75 trees. I went up to the mountains and I picked up 74 trees in the mountains last weekend. And someone called 2 days ago and they wanted a tree, so I had to go pick up another one from a Christmas tree lot. The gentleman, I go to the mountains and I buy the trees, and the same gentleman also has a Christmas tree lot here, so I can go to his Christmas tree lot and he'll sell me the tree wholesale. So that helps my overhead. If I ever need more trees, I don't have to pay retail. I can get it wholesale again from the gentleman's tree lot. Whenever I took over Tim Owen's clients, there was a new process I had to come up with, and also a safer process. Before, I'd pick up a tree and I'd slam it down, and that was always very dangerous because it might hit your foot with the trunk. And my father, his foot got hit with the trunk, and it was really bad because it was a 10-foot tree, and it was me, my dad, and 2 other guys slamming down the tree on the concrete, and he had to get his foot x-rayed, and he was fine. So I have a tree shaker now, so you just put it on the machine and someone holds the middle and they shake it and it does all the work. And then I also got a wreath making table from Tim Owen. This is the table and there's a clamp right here and it just clamps these rings together, so you just stuff it as full as you can, depending on the client. If you want a full tree, you just shove as much as you can in there and they clamp it down. If you want more of a skinny tree, you put about half of it in there and you got to direction it differently. You go with the circle, but if you're trying to really fill it up, you just put it out to the side. Also discovered there's a new tree stand with Tim Owen. Tim Owen had a stand called a stand straight stand, and it had a single spike that goes up the middle, and it's supposed to be straight every time because the drill is just to drill straight into it, and it's very easy for me to set up too, and it's easy to just tap in and get going. And I got the custom pallet idea from Tim Owen. He had the pallets. I made some more for my growing trees, and I discovered this year that I needed to get an electric chainsaw because before I've always had a gas chainsaw, and they start very well in the warm temperature, but in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning when it's 30 degrees, it doesn't want to start. And I'll have to work on it, and then I'll have to hand it to someone else, and it'll take like 3 of us to get it warmed up enough to where it stays on. And last year I borrowed a friend's electric chainsaw, and it was pretty cold last year whenever I had to borrow it. And just me hitting a button and it starting to work right away was a lot more efficient. So this year I bought an electric chainsaw, and I used it a lot last week because it was cold and the gas one wouldn't start. So it's saved me a lot of time, and it's a lot easier to take an electric chainsaw to someone's neighborhood, and it's very quiet, and I'm not waking up the neighbors with the gas one trying to cut their tree. Just for adapting for the growth, I obtained new equipment from Tim Owen. Me and Tim Owen negotiated a deal where he had about like 90 clients come transfer from me, and I asked him, what if all those clients don't transfer to me? What if they don't want to buy from me? Well, he said, I'll just pay for each client that successfully transfers. So he gave me a very good price. It was about $10 per client that transferred over. So I think his previous year he had about 90 or so, and 40 of them were okay transferring to me. So I paid him $10 per client. And again, I adjusted my prices because Tim Owen's clients were willing to pay more, and I realized there was an opportunity there. So I might as well keep the same price. Some new challenges that are coming up that I'm realizing. There was a slight tree shortage last year, but there's a big tree shortage this year. And it's because of the 2008 recession, where since that 2008 recession happened and the economy was down, they planted less trees. So, trees take 8-10 years to grow. So now there's a shortage of trees for about my height, a foot higher. There's a shortage on that, so it's costing me about $10-20 more than it usually does per tree. And so I haven't raised my prices, but it's impacted me, and I had to make my order about 2 or 3 months early. Usually I order it in October, but I order it earlier than that because I needed to reserve my trees for my customer. Some new challenges that are coming up. I'm trying to figure out how to balance labor cost with efficiency. With that, the tree stands, this spike tree stand that takes advantage of my drill, it's really easy to set up and it's always straight. I just lift it up and it's done. With a screw in the side tree stand, I might spend 20-30 minutes at someone's house. And 2 employees, that's about an hour together. Between 2 employees, I have to pay for about an hour. So that's costing me a lot more money, where it almost would be worth me just giving them a tree stand. But something else I'm liking now too is before my dad has a business and he'd outsource his employees to me whenever I needed them. And this year I have my friends helping me, which it makes me feel more like a boss because I'm telling my friends what to do and I'm telling them when to show up. Instead of my dad's employees just always showing up at 7 a.m., I'm telling them, I need you this time or I don't need you. Whenever it's my dad's employees, they have kids and a family. And my friends are just in college, so they're available almost at any time. So it's nice. The spike tree stands, they take less time to install, and a new challenge to try and efficiently save money is by having that wreath making table. I can make my own wreaths, but I can also buy them from that same gentleman with the tree lot for $10. and I sell them for 20. But I bought 5 from him, and I've been making mine. I've been keeping up with the demand of my clients. But each wreath I pay $10, and if I make it myself, I'm saving $10 in the bottom line. But I gotta figure out the opportunity of how much time I'm investing in making the Christmas wreath. It takes about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the wreath, to make it. So I have to figure out, is it worth me just paying $10 for a wreath, or is it worth me saving $10 and spending half an hour to make it myself? I've changed my marketing strategy. I used to do mail outs in people's mailbox. And that was a little bit expensive for at least the response I was getting. They say it's about a 10% response, but I wasn't getting that response back. So I went from mail outs to door hangers, which my girlfriend designed my business card and my door hangers, and they're very nice now. My business card, it didn't have enough pictures on it, so people couldn't get that visual representation of my business. Door hangers also help me interact with more people. I don't ring a doorbell. I'm not trying to bother people, so I just put it on their door. But when I'm walking the neighborhood, someone was managing their front yard, and I figured I could talk to them since they're already outside. And there was 3 people in their front yard, and all 3 of those people bought from me because I was able to talk to them. And my door hangers, I got one person through my door hangers. He got a big tree though, so it paid for my door hangers. And me just running into those people and having a personal contact, I feel that they're going to repeat more than the guy that just bought from me through a door hanger. So I feel like I have a better connection from the people I met when I was walking through with a friend. And I made my money back. The door hangers were about $50 or $60, and I had a friend help me for about 3 hours. So the $60 in door hangers and the 30 hours of labor more than covered the cost, and I profited from marketing this year. And my door hangers and my business cards have a QR code on them. I have some business cards back there, so if you just take your phone camera up to it, it will send you to my Facebook page, and you can find out more about my business if you want to. And my personal phone number is on there, and if you don't want to call me, you can email me, and I'm going to quickly respond to you through email. What I've learned since 2016 is dealing with difficult clients. I guess I didn't have that problem so much in the previous years because my trees were so affordable. It was like almost the same price of a tree lot. That I guess someone that didn't really want to argue with me or anything because they're saving money. So I've learned to be patient with customers. Some stubborn gentlemen might want to set up a Christmas tree the way they want to. I'll help you set it up the way you want it to. I'm not trying to upset you. It's the holidays. I'm trying to figure out how to just the pressure of being on call while I'm doing deliveries. If I'm in someone's house or if I'm driving, I'm trying to manage a phone call and trying to GPS to the next house. So what I try to do is I try to have my passenger, my friend, handle the GPS while I'm on the phone, and then they'll visually, tell me this street here, and I'll turn there, and just that helps me out a lot. And I'm changed to fully digital this year, so that way it's always on my phone. I have a Google Sheets with and I have it organized by date, so I have the date and time that I delivered to someone's house. Before I had it on paper and half on digital, and that was a mistake because I'd have to check both of my sources to see who was the next delivery, and that hurt me a little bit because I'd be late to people because I didn't check the written paper. I was just looking at digital, so I'm fully digital now. So that problem's fixed. I haven't been late to anyone's house yet. I've also learned just how to. I feel like I'm more of a boss this year than I have been in previous years with my friends. I feel better about it. I feel confident. They're happy. I've had 3 friends work with me so far. 2 of them have been good, and then one of them hasn't been too good. My other friends don't like them, so I just haven't asked them to come back. Because I don't want to make my other 2 friends that are good workers not want to work with me because of that one friend I have. So I just haven't hired him again. Saturday was his last day. So that's about my business. It's just a Christmas tree delivery service business where I set it up in people's homes and they can enjoy the holiday without any hassle. Thank you.
Josh, I have a question for you. Before you bought out Tim, were you making money with your initially? Were you making money initially?
So yes, that is a good question. Before Tim Owen, I was buying from my neighborhood friend in the mountains, and I had a personal relationship with me. So he gave me a huge discount because we were friends. Like it was $10 per tree, any size tree. So I'd buy a 10-foot tree for $10. I'd buy a 6-foot tree for $10. And at that point, I was charging $10 per foot. And the last year I bought from him, he was getting older. He wasn't spraying with the chemicals. He wasn't trimming the trees. So the last year I bought from him, nice gentleman, the trees weren't well groomed. So they didn't look as neat as they should have. But the next year I bought from Tim Owen, and Tim Owen told me who he buys from. So I also buy from them now. And they charge me the price I need to be charged. It ranges from $30 to $100. So now my cost has gone up. But Tim Owen's clients were already paying the amount to cover the cost and profit from it. So.
And the reason I asked that question, you seem to have lost some customers previously because you was charging less and they didn't want to pay the increase in price.
Yes, sir.
I would try to be creative and see how, in hindsight, how could we have kept those customers?
Yes.
As opposed to losing your already established clientele. Because now you're working off somebody else's rap sheet instead of your own. You lost your initial customers.
Yeah. Yes. I lost most of my initial customers. I have I delivered to a lady somewhere in Van Store yesterday, and she's been with me for the beginning, and I give those people discounts, the ones that have stayed. And if someone has a problem with it, or they're just single mother, I give them a discount on. I give people discounts on when it's needed. But my other customers, I reached out to them, and most of them I left a message saying, I'm Josh Meredith, and I told them my prices increased, and I didn't tell them how much my prices increased. I just told them it increased. And I guess me just saying that, they didn't want to contact me back. But I have kept some of the customers, and I give them discounts, but I didn't keep as many as I probably should have.
Moving forward, just be careful how you. At the end of the day, it's a tree, and I don't want to be paying. If you charged me $10 last year, now you're charging me $100. I probably wouldn't come back either. So just in your circle, get creative in how you can recapture those customers, because that's what business is all about. I get new customers, and I try to retain those customers as I move forward instead of buying somebody else's rap sheet.
Yes.
And now I lose what I originally. Now you're just Tim. You're not
Yes.
Josh. I want you to say Josh instead of Tim.
Yes, sir. You have a good point. Thank you.
So what is the average price for a tree? And the size, so a little bit.
Yeah, well, before I was paying $10 per tree, and then I charged $10 per foot. So no matter what, I'd make like $50 or so. But this year, with the recession, before I'd pay like almost like $20 or $25, but with the recession, it's about $35 per tree. So it's about a $3,000 overhead, which is, I don't know, I think that might be a lot for a 19-year-old, but I'm able to handle it. But yeah, it's they helped loan me the trees. I asked them this year. I was going to pay them this year, but I told them I had problems with my truck, so I had to pay a mechanic to fix it, and that really drained my savings. So I asked them if they could help me out and loan me the trees, because they make like millions of dollars. So my $3,000 bill isn't that much to them. So I'll be paying them at the end of the season, but it is a $3,000 overhead, not including me buying the machinery from someone else. That's another couple hundred. That was just a reef table. The drill and the shaker I paid off last year. Those were a couple thousand with those together. And buying wreath rings from a different business, that was $200. The chainsaw was $200. So there's a lot of expenses in business. So it's not just the price of the tree.
So you're saying you sell the tree by the foot?
The tree depends on the foot. Yeah, before I used to sell it by the foot, but before it was $10 per foot, and now it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's not by the foot anymore. It's like 6 to 7 is $90.
Okay.
7 to 8 is $115. It's not always $20 more per tree. So I don't say that.
Do you or have you done anything with any commercial businesses? So I think of realtors who like to be able to be top of mind of their clients and then being able to buy like 30 reads at a time so that they can go out to their past clients or even their listings and put that kind of stuff out.
I haven't reached out to that many, but I do have the owner of Mikasita. He buys 10 wreaths for me in a tree, and he, I guess, gives those. I don't ask what he does, but he doesn't put them on his house, so I'm pretty sure he gives them out to people.
Right.
And I have an eye doctor that buys a Christmas tree from me and puts it in their business.
Right.
So I do have some commercial properties, but I'm not like delivering to like a car lot setting up their tree, because the ones that I have asked, they have someone that not only sets it up but decorates them for them. So if I do ask a commercial property, I guess they already have it handled because they want someone that does everything.
Right.
And I could decorate it, but I mean, I'm not going to probably decorate as good as a professional.
I would reach out to real estate agents.
Okay.
Honestly, I mean, a good, well-established real estate agent wouldn't think anything of being able to go to her past clients or his past clients, depending on, where they are, what kind of house, they're not $100,000 houses versus the $350,000 houses, for them to just go and be able to provide a wreath.
Yeah, I can
it
see
cost them $20 or even $25 would mean practically nothing to them and a lot of goodwill. So I would suggest looking at high-end real estate agents in town.
Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah. I can give you a couple of names of people I know that would probably do it.
Because the season's still going on, so.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
What about your dad's clients? Conflict of interest?
Conflict of interest? You mean like people that he landscapes for?
Sure.
A good amount of people that he does landscape for, I guess, they already were working with Tim Owen. So I've naturally gotten some of the people that also work with my dad's business just because they like the hassle-free experience.
Getting much response on the QR code from the door hanger?
The QR codes, the door hangers, whenever I put door hangers on the door, I only got one client. But the opportunity was I was able to see people in their front yard and talk to them. So me walking through the neighborhood doing door hangers wasn't so much of me getting people off the door hangers as me running into people, maintaining their yard or something, which was helpful. They all bought from me, everyone that was able to buy.
Do you have elderly clients? I mean,
I have a lot of elderly clients
that don't want to mess with going against them.
Yeah, a lot of my, well, not a lot of my clients, but they're usually, some of them are elderly, and some of them have in-home care, and I guess the in-home care might not set up the Christmas tree. Maybe it might be an insurance problem, I don't know, but there's this gentleman named Mormon, and he has a caretaker, and I delivered his tree yesterday. And there's other elderly people that do set up their tree because they can't handle setting up a Christmas tree on their own because I guess they might hurt themselves. And that wouldn't be good.
So I'm a little confused. Do you not always put it in the stand?
I always put it in the stand.
Okay, that's what you're
That's,
calling setting up.
yeah, that's my service.
If I was struggling to put it up and put it in the stand, I'd probably struggle with getting rid of it after Christmas.
Yes, I offer a
Do you?
for an additional charge. I offer to take the tree away. I think I have about 4 people right now that want me to call them after the season to plan to take away their tree.
That might be the way of getting those old customers back. And frankly, I think anyone understands if you said to them, I had to go up on my prices because the person didn't groom the trees to my satisfaction and I didn't want to give you something you wouldn't be happy with.
Yes.
I'd say, oh, okay. I don't want an ugly tree. So,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Josh, I have one final question for you. Are you projected to make money this season?
Yes, I'm hoping.
Uh-oh.
I'm making a profit, but I'm hoping I make $10,000 profit.
Okay.
I'm already making profit now. I broke even yesterday or the day before.
So you're able to pay for the $3,000?
Yeah, it's all covered because I've delivered to about 40 people already. So I'm just hoping I make $10,000, but I'm already in the green. Yes, sir.
And so Josh, so you just service predominantly the Fayetteville area, or are you doing the surrounding areas, or?
I like to do the Fayetteville area, but I have 2 clients in Anderson Creek, 3 or 4 clients below Gates 4. So, and then Eastover, I have about another three or so clients in Eastover, and that's like a triangle. Those are very far apart. So I do go pretty far out of Fayetteville, but I don't go to like Raleigh or I did go to St. Paul's this year, but I try to stay in Fayetteville because if I'm having to drive 30 minutes to someone's house, it's 30 minutes back, and that's putting everyone else off by an hour. When if I'm delivering in Haymount and someone else is in Haymount, I'll be over at their house in 5 minutes.
I'm just real curious about the gentleman who went out of business. Do you know why he went out of business, or was it? I mean, you don't have to share that if he shared it with you, but have you made like mental? Okay, well, he did this wrong, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, he had a nursery, so it wasn't only a tree delivery business. He also sold plants, and I don't really ask too much about people's personal business, but I personally was surprised that he stopped right before Christmas. The Christmas season started.
Right.
So I don't know why he went out of business.
Okay.
Like him.
Okay. And so that's what would concern me is that he's taken over this
Impossible.
gentleman's business, and your existing customers, you're no longer servicing most of them. So, and you have no idea what happened to?
I don't, but I don't think I'd ever really go out of business because people order before, and then so they've already kind of reserved the tree. So, and I don't have that much, I don't try and buy that too many extra trees, so I don't have that much of an overhead.
So do you also sell, because I know you were mentioning the single spikes stands, do you also sell stands as well?
I only sell the single spike stands because I always drill. Every tree is drilled, even if I know they're going to screw it in the side. Sometimes they're screwed in the side, the tree might not work. So I always have spike stands with me, and I sell them for the same price that I buy them for. I sell them for $30 because it helps me out, and it helps the other person out. And so if they buy it from me, I think they're probably more likely to rebuy a tree from me again because they kind of have a tree that they have to have someone drill. So it's also like an incentive to rebuy from me again because you have a stand that benefits me because I drill a hole in the bottom. And I guess if you were to buy from someone else, you got to make sure they can drill it in the bottom.
You mentioned you did mailers once. I have an odd question. Did you do like plastic type mailers one year?
Yeah, they were. I tried making them high quality.
Okay, I remember that because I actually remember that flyer.
Okay.
It's not often you get like a plastic flyer in the mail.
Yeah.
Also, is the door hangers the only marketing you do? Because I looked at your Facebook page and you had very little on your Facebook page.
Yeah, my Facebook page. I've gotten clients this year, but previous years I have never gotten clients for Facebook, so I didn't push it too much. But I have a friend named Bobby Hurst. He has like 4,000 Facebook friends. I always ask him to repost it. And word of mouth is really my strongest marketing. But from Facebook, I've gotten about 2 or 3 clients this year. This is my first year ever getting Facebook clients. So next year I might push Facebook more. But I do have my friends reshare my Facebook posts to try and get attention.
I would think a big customer population would be military wives. Maybe the husbands are deployed.
Yes.
And there are a lot of opportunities for exposure, I think. You know, if you kind of got to jump on the season by being at the Yule Mart, the Spouses Association luncheon, or...
I'll need to do that.
And if you just sold wreaths, I'd probably want mine, early November, and then at that time say, place your order now for free. And
I'll need to. I didn't know about those spouses things going on. I'll need to. That's something good for me.
I can provide you.
Okay, that'd be nice. Yeah, I'd like learning about new opportunities for me to meet people. I used to compete with my business idea. I went to New York once to pitch my business idea, and I had a lot of fun doing that. What was fun about it too is I was able to take my older brother with me. They paid for me and one other person to come, and ask my parents and my older brother to come with me. And it was a lot of fun competing and pitching my business idea to judges. I like it. So I'm always open to new opportunities, and meeting those spouses would be nice because I feel like I'm also kind of helping them too.
yeah, it'd be great service for us.
Any other questions?
Well, thank you.
Well, Josh, what can this community do for you?
I guess if you guys have other opportunities for me to meet people that spouses would be nice, and I guess if you could maybe just tell someone else about my business, that'd be nice. Give me some someone else could take advantage of my business, and that'd be nice if you could tell them about me. But word of mouth is pretty strong, and it's helped me a lot. I've gotten new clients. They call me and they'll say, "Oh yeah, this Nimix told me about you." You know, I've had a lot this year too, saying how their friend recommended me to them. So it's helped me a lot.
All right, well, thank you so much.